Right, these are some of the ones I made earlier. Bit experimental. Been trying all like different methods, but that's the end product like that. So I don't know what they're like, but knowing what paper's like, it burns really slow if it's tightly wrapped, and it's good on if you have a bed of coal. Just chuck it on there and it ticks over and burns, sort of smoulders away sort of nice and slowly. Doesn't burn very quick, but they're quite solid. So I'm going to show you how to make those. An old steel dustbin filled with water. Get old envelopes, paperwork, cardboard boxes. I say what I do is I generally rip them up into smaller pieces, makes it easier, because I tried to experiment with larger pieces of cardboard and it didn't really work. But this has been sitting here for about a week now. You don't have to do that, you could probably leave it a couple of days to soak. But if you noticed, it's all I've ripped it all, it's all bits of cardboard, old papers, everything. And this attachment here is for mixing plaster. Got it attached to the drill, so watch. Can you see the consistency changing? But I do emphasise I rip it, because some of this cardboard, it must have some water resistant properties in it. But yeah, I rip it into smaller pieces, makes it easier. Right, next stage, I've got all old plant pots, various different sizes, some are slightly bigger. You just select one, get your hands in there, in the pulp, and pack it in. Right, I'm not bothered about the water escaping, because it's just rainwater anyway, and it just soak onto the plants there. But if you wanted to put it on something where you're going to salvage the water, you could put it on some grilling or something like that on top of a pallet with a tray underneath, like one of them builders trays that you'd mix up cement with. But there you go, look, and that's how I arrived at the beginning of them things. I mean, these probably take about 2 or 3 weeks to dry out fully, obviously with the good weather we're having. I mean, these are going to dry fairly quick. There you go, and I just leave them there like that. After about 2 or 3 days, then I upend them, put them on a board or something like that, and then leave them out in the sun once they've dried off a little bit, you know, once it's soaked away. But there you go, look, free heat for the winter time. Well, the other thing is you can squeeze the water out with your hand like that, and then the water goes back into the bucket. Simple. Just going to show you briefly. I've turned one upside down now. I say I wouldn't usually do this because I normally wait 2 or 3 days for it to dry a little bit. But you turn it upside down, squeeze it with your hands like that, turn it over, and there you go, there's the mould. But so I'm going to put that back in for now, because I'm going to leave it for 2 or 3 days just to keep the body of it and then that's all good there. Once you're finished, start the whole process again. Fill it half with water, rainwater. All your old cereal boxes. So what I do is I rip them into, I'll just show you, bits probably that size. I know it's a bit laborious, look, lift it all up. It's easier when you go to mix it all up. Paper's not so essential to do that, but definitely cardboard, rip it into little bits. Little tip, if they start to sink, as you say they do, after a while the moisture's drained out, then you just get a few more handfuls of the paper, like I did over there, and then just fill them up a little bit more. That's all you have to do. It's only sat there for like 10 minutes so far.